रेंगाड़ी
विचार तो नहीं है, विचार तो नहीं है, ओ नामे अपराध विचार तो नहीं है। ठाकुर कृष्ण नाम रुचि हबे पाबे प्रेमदा, ठाकुर कृष्ण नाम रुचि हबे पाबे प्रेमदा बेबंदा। निताय चैतन्य बोले नाचे अमर मान, दयाल निताय चैतन्य बोले नाचे अमर मान। अनुराग तो नहीं है, अनुराग तो हवे है, कृष्ण नामे अनुराग तो हवे है। Takon anurage apala be jape be barivan. Takon anaya se safala be jive rajivan. Dayal nitai chaitanya bole nachre amar man. Dayal nitai chaitanya bole nachre amar man. जीवन तो मिच्छ है, जीवन तो मिच्छ है, कृष्ण रत बिना जीवन तो मिच्छ है। कृष्ण रत बिना जीवन तो मिच्छ है। निताय चैतन्य बोले नाचे अमर मान। दयाल निताय चैतन्य बोले नाचे अमर मान। गौर कृपाले है, गौर कृपाले है, ऐसे वृंदावन राधा श्याम पावे दर्शन। ऐसे वृंदावन राधे श्याम पावे दर्शन। दयाल निताय चैतन्य बोले नाचे अमर मान। दयाल निताय चैतन्य बोले नाचे अमर मान। नाचे अमर मान, नाचे अमर मान, नाचे अमर मान, नाचे अमर मान। दयाल निताय चैतन्य बोले नाचे अमर मान। निताय चैतन्य बोले नाचे अमर मान। जय गौर निताय, गौर निताय, गौर निताय, जय गौर निताय। जय निताय गौरंग, जय निताय गौरंग, निताय गौरंग, जय निताय गौरंग। जय कृष्ण बलराम, कृष्ण बलराम, कृष्ण बलराम, जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय कृष्ण बलराम, वृंदावन धाम, कृष्ण बलराम जय वृंदावन धाम। कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय। श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय। Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 1, entitled Questions by Vidura, text 26. Canto 3, Chapter 1, text 26. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। अचित् पुराणौ पुरुषौ स्वनाभ्या कचित् पुराणौ पुरुषौ स्वनाभ्या पादानुवृत्ते किल वर्तितानो पद्मानुवृत्ते किलावतीर्णौ आस्ता आसात ऊर्व्याः कुशलं विधाय आसात ऊर्व्याः कुशलं विधाय कृतकृष्णकौशलं सूरगेः कृतक्षणौ कुशलं सूरगेः कचित् पुराणौ पुरुषौ स्वनाभ्या पाद्मानुवृत्ते किल वर्तितानो पाद्मानुवृत्ते किलावतीर्णौ आसात् आसात ऊर्व्याकुशलं विधाय कृतक्षणौ कुशलं सूरगेः कचित् पुराणौ पुरुषौ स्वनाभ्या पाद्मानुवृत्ते किलावतीर्णौ आसात ऊर्व्याकुशलं विधाय कृतक्षणौ कुशलं सूरगेः। कचित् पुराणौ पुरुषौ स्वनाभ्या पाद्मानुवृत्ते किलावतीर्णौ आसात ऊर्व्याकुशलं विधाय कृतक्षणौ कुशलं सूरगेः। कचित् पुराणौ पुरुषौ स्वनाभ्या पाद्मानुवृत्ते किलावतीर्णौ आसात ऊर्व्याकुशलं विधाय कृतक्षणौ कुशलं सूरगेः क्वचित् पुराणौ पुरुषौ स्वनाभ्य आसाते किलावतीर्णौ आसात ऊर्व्याकुशलं विधाय कृतक्षणौ कुशलं सूरगेः. Three. Okay. Word to word meaning. Kachit, whether. Purano, the original. Purusho, personalities of Godhead. Krishna and Balaram. Swanabhya, Brahma. Padma Anuvritya, by the request of the one who is born from the lotus. Iha, here. Kila, certainly. Avatirnau, incarnated. Asate, are. Urvyah, in the world. Kushalam, well-being. Vidhaya, for doing so. Krita Krishna, the elevators of everyone's prosperity. Kushalam, all well. Shuragehe, in the house of Surashena. Shurasena. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Please tell me whether the original personality of Godhead, who incarnated themselves at the request of Brahma, who is born of the lotus flower from the Lord, and who have increased the prosperity of the world by elevating everyone, are doing well in the house of Shurasena? Purport. Lord Krishna and Balaram are not two different personalities of Godhead. God is one without a second, but he expands himself in many forms without their being separate from one another. They are all plenary expansions. The immediate expansion of Lord Krishna is Baladeva, and Brahma, born from the lotus flower from Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, is an expansion of Baladev. This indicates that Krishna and Baladev are not subjected to the regulations of the universe. On the contrary, the whole universe is under their subjugation. They appeared at the request of Brahma to liberate the burden of the world, and they relieved the world by many superhuman activities so that everyone became happy and prosperous. Without the grace of the Lord, no one can become happy and prosperous, because the happiness of the family of the Lord's devotees depends on the happiness of the Lord. Vidura first of all inquired about the well-being of the Lord. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणि प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरि वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. We welcome you all for today's Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we are reading from third canto, first chapter, entitled Questions by Vidura. So this Srimad Bhagavatam, so this is called the ripened fruit of Vedic knowledge. So Vedavyas, in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, he tells, Nigamakalpataror galitam phalam shukamukadamrita drava samyutam vibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraho rasika vibhavaka. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of the Vedas. So just like there is fruit, and when it ripens naturally ripened fruit, it is so very tasty. Similarly, after compiling all the Vedas, Vedavyas compiled Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is like the mature fruit of the Vedas. So all the Vedic knowledge, the conclusion of all the Vedic knowledge is present in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Vedaischa sarve aham eva vedyaha. So Lord tells in the Gita that the purpose of knowing Vedas is to understand Krishna. So therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is exclusive glorification of Sri Krishna. You can see in Prabhupada writes in one of the purport in the first canto, like if a serious student can see Krishna in every page of Srimad Bhagavatam, so like that. So in every shloka, Lord is present. So today also we are seeing that Vidura is inquiring. So here, so Vidura is meeting Maitreya, and their conversation is going to take place. So first he meets Uddhava. So Uddhava, then he is inquiring from Uddhava. So how is Lord Krishna and Balaram and all the other members of the Yadu Vamsha? So here, so Uddhava, he did not, even though he was present when the Lord left from this world back to Godhead. So Uddhava, so Lord gave his final instruction to Uddhava, and also Maitreya Rishi was also present there. So in the further verses, it will come that even though Uddhava was fully qualified to give this knowledge to Vidura, but he did not do so because Maitreya, who was there, he was actually elderly to Vidura, he was more elder than Uddhava. And therefore, it is a general etiquette that one allow the elder or senior devotees to convey the message of the Lord. So therefore, Uddhava tells Maitreya Rishi to continue the discourse, to answer the questions of Vidura. So here, Vidura is inquiring from Uddhava that how are Krishna and Balaram? So they both appeared. Atmanuvritte kilavatirno. So on the request of Brahma, Krishna and Balaram appeared. So Krishna and Balaram here, Prabhupada tells in the purport, they are not two different personalities of Godhead. Like we see in this world, everybody is an individual person, and so one person is different from another. But Krishna and Balaram, they are simultaneously one and different. So Krishna and Balaram, they are not two different personalities. Both are Supreme Personality of Godhead, the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the Lord expands. So it's told that the first expansion of Lord, that is Baladev or Balaram, and from Balaram, all other Vishnu Tattvas, they expand. Chaturvyuha comes, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Then from the Sankarshana, second Chaturvyuha comes. So Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. And from the second Sankarshana comes Karanodakshayi Vishnu. And from Karnodakshaya Vishnu, then further Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, then Shirodakshaya Vishnu. So like this, all the Vishnu tattvas, they expand. And from the Sankarshana in Vaikuntha, so all the 24 forms of Vishnu, the names of whom we chant during while performing Achaman, Keshava, Madhava, Govinda, Narayana, Madhusudana, or while putting Tilak. So those 24 names, they are all Vaikuntha forms of the Lord. So they all expand from the Lord. So they are all expansions and they are not different personalities. So this concept is little difficult to understand or difficult to conceive. So in the Brahma Samhita, there is a simple example given. Deeparchireva dashantaramabhyupetya Deepa ide vivrita hetu prayana dharma Yastadrik eva nivasatta kilatma bhuto Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. So just like lighting a candle. So we see during Deepavali, we all lit candles. So from one lamp, we can light another lamp. So similarly, the Lord's expansions are like that. So Krishna is the first supreme personality of Godhead, and from Krishna, Balaram expands. There's one more lamp is coming, and from Balaram, other Vishnu tattvas are coming. So they're like many lamps. So every lamp has the same potency. So similarly, all Vishnu tattvas are all the supreme personality of Godhead. So therefore. They have, so like we have heard that Lord Krishna has 64 qualities, and all the Vishnu forms, they all are having 60 qualities. So like that, all the Vishnu Tattva, they're all the lords of the universe. So therefore, so they are not obliged to follow the rules and regulations of this universe, like Prabhupada tells in his purport. So Krishna and Balram are not subjected to the regulations of the universe. On the contrary, the whole universe is under their subjugation. So, like just like if a king is going, the king of a kingdom. So, I'll give another example. Like in a hospital. So the patients, when a patient get disease, he's going to hospital. So he's getting hospitalized. But when the same to the same hospital, if some doctor goes or the chief of the hospital, he goes. So he is not going to hospital, even though he may go. The doctors may go daily to hospital, but they are not going like the patients. Similarly, when Lord or his pure devotees come to this world, so they are not coming like the patients coming to the hospital. So when we conditioned souls, we take birth in this world, we are like patients going to hospital. So for our reformation, for curing our disease, we go. But when the Supreme Lord or his pure devotees, they incarnate in this world, it's like doctors coming to the hospital. So they come and they purify the patients. So the purpose of Lord coming to the material world is the same as he has said in the Bhagavad Gita. परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. The Lord comes here millennium after millennium when to protect the devotees, paritranaya sadhunam, and vinashaya cha dushkritam, and to annihilate the miscreants, and to re-establish the codes of religion. So here also we see that Lord Krishna, he wanted to establish dharma. Therefore, he orchestrated the war of Kurukshetra, so in which the Duryodhana and party who were on the adharma side and the Pandavas were on the side of dharma. So those who were in the part of dharma, they won the battle. So here, Vidura is, after meeting Uddhava, he was having concern. So what happened to the Lord and all the family members of Yadu dynasty? So he's inquiring from Vidura. So we see that so the Krishna and Balram, when they appear, so they they perform they perform two kinds of lila. One is Laukik Leela and Alaukik Leela. So Laukik Leela is like they all play with all other cowherd and they also take care of cows, like we see our Radha Krishna Prabhu daily he takes care of cows here so nicely. Similarly, Krishna and Balram, they also used to take care of cows, play with all the cows, go for herding cows. So like this, they used to perform many pastimes. So these are all Laukik Leela, like carrying hull, doing farming, then taking care of cows, playing many various games. So all this part. And also they perform Alaukik Leela, that is superhuman acts. Like they uh, so many when asuras came to attack them in Gokula, Vrindavan. So they used to kill all those asuras. So like Pralamba Asura, then Vatsasura. So many asuras, Bakasura. So all these asuras came, and Krishna and Balram, Dhenuka Asura. So they killed all these asuras. So this is superhuman activities which only the Supreme Lord can perform, and no normal human being can imitate them. So these are wonderful activities. Once we hear that Krishna and Balram, they jumped off a cliff in Mathura, and this was such a big cliff that if anybody jumps, they would die. But they easily, they after getting down, they passed. So like this, Krishna and Balram, they are not ordinary personalities. They are the Samvit Shakti and Sandini Shakti of the Supreme Lord. They are coming as Krishna and Balram. So the three Shaktis of Lord, Sandini Shakti, that is Lord Krishna himself, and Samvit Shakti, which is Lord Balram, and Hladini Shakti, that is Srimati Radharani. So the Satchit and Ananda. So Sat is stands for eternity. So that is Sandini Shakti. So that is Lord Sri Krishna. And Satchit is full of knowledge. So Lord is full of knowledge. That Samvit Shakti, that is represented by Lord Balram. And Ananda, the Hladini Shakti of Lord, that is represented by Srimati Radharani. So these personalities are the supreme personalities. They are coming to this world to perform such both Laukik activities like normal human beings and also like superhuman activities. So here, Prabhupada writes very important point in the purport that without the grace of the Lord, no one can become happy and prosperous. So therefore, it is very essential that we obtain the mercy or the grace of the Lord. Therefore, we see in the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita also, the Lord tells that by performing yajna, one can satisfy the Lord. And when Lord is satisfied, everybody, the demigods are also happy, and all the human beings can be happy. So similarly, so when we perform the activities pleasing to the Lord, so that is called as yajna. And those are activities which are prescribed in the scriptures. So yajna is not just anything I do for the pleasure of Lord that becomes yajna. So those activities should be authorized by scriptures. So those activities which are authorized by scriptures, they are given by the authorities like spiritual master, which is coming in parampara. And when we perform such activities, Srila Prabhupada is very unique acharya who has given the ways of performing yajna to the modern day world. Like no one can conceive of it. Like distributing books, so that is yajna. Printing books and distributing this knowledge of the scriptures. So in olden days, there was this guru was there and disciples were there. Guru used to recite the mantras and disciple used to learn. But in modern day, it may not be feasible because the life has become so much busy and sophisticated. Nobody has time to sit and learn the Vedas. So in such a modern day world, Prabhupada has so nicely made this yajna activity that on the order of a spiritual master, that his spiritual master had ordered him that whenever you get money, you print books. Similarly, Prabhupada, he has compiled so many volumes of books of Vedic literature, and these are available in so many languages all over the world. And it's very easy to read and understand this knowledge of the scriptures. So in this way, one can please the Lord by doing Sankirtan, by understanding about the Lord, by educating one another about the various pastimes of the Lord. So like this, distributing books, This is one of the Sankirtan Yajna of this age of Kali. So this is recommended in the scriptures that in Kali Yuga one has to perform Sankirtan Yajna, which is the glorification of the name, fame, form, qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like in temple we perform Nam Sankirtan. Similarly, Nama, Rupa. So now we are describing the qualities of Krishna. So this is Rupa, Guna Sankirtan. And Leela, about we are discussing about various pastimes of the Lord. So this is Leela Sankirtan. So all this is present in Srimad Bhagavatam. So therefore, reading and understanding Srimad Bhagavatam, so therefore Srila Prabhupada made it a rule that every day in the temples there should be class or discussion about Srimad Bhagavatam. And also we should take out 1-2 hours more time for personal time to read and understand these scriptures. So like this, understanding about the Lord and then giving this knowledge to others, spreading this knowledge. So this is Sankirtan, and this activity is very pleasing to the Lord. Therefore, Prabhupada used to be very pleased when devotees announced that today we distributed this many books. Therefore, he also made it a rule that we need to announce for the pleasure of Lord and the devotees. So when the Lord is happy and the devotees, so when the Lord is happy, then naturally all the family members of the Lord, who are his devotees, they will also be happy. Therefore, this point at the end of the purport, it is said, because the happiness of the family of the Lord's devotees depends on the happiness of the Lord. Vidura first of all inquired about the well-being of the Lord. So this is the general etiquette one should follow. So when the Lord is happy, then everybody is happy. So one should learn how to please the Lord. So how we can know whether our activities are pleasing to the Lord or not? By checking with our spiritual master. So therefore, the spiritual master has to be living in front of us, so whom we can inquire, or at least his representative should be there, who should be accessible to us. So we can check whether our activities are really pleasing to the Lord. And then one can mold one's activities in such a way that all his life's activities can become pleasing to the Lord. So when one reaches that state, then he has achieved the pure devotional service. The pure devotees, whatever activities they perform, it's all pleasing to the Lord. So to achieve that state of pure devotional service, one has to get trained under a living spiritual master. That is very much essential. Hare Krishna. So we thank you all very much for attending today's Srimad Bhagavatam. Have any queries, any questions? You can please go ahead, or any comments. Hare Krishna. Yes. Any reflections? So one point what you understood from the lecture?
Nothing.
Yeah. So nice question. So you're asking that they are non-different, Krishna and Balaram. But Krishna has 64 qualities and Balaram has only 60 qualities. Isn't that a difference? So anyway, so this is the Achintya Beda Abeda Tattva. Like they are simultaneously one and different. Huh? So in the qualities they are same, but in quantity wise they are different. Like Krishna plays a flute, whereas Balram does not play a flute. Like Krishna has a beautiful form. Balram also has a beautiful form, but not as beautiful as Krishna. So those four unique qualities, Rupa Madhuri, Venu Madhuri, Leela Madhuri, and Bhakta Madhuri, that is specifically for Krishna. Also, Balram also displays those qualities to some extent. We can see that even Balram also performs Rasa Leela, but he has a different set of his gopis. So they are not Krishna's gopis. Krishna's gopis are different, and Balram's gopis are different. And Balram is known as Haladar. He carries a plow. He's not called Venudhari. Krishna is called Venudhar. he plays a flute.
గదే ఉంది.
So specifically, unique qualities are there. And Krishna and Balram, in one sense, they are not different. They are the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the expansion, so more details are there in the Shastras, we can see. But what we can understand, so both are simultaneously one and different. So that is what we can understand. So just like two lamps. So both lamps, the light which is given by the lamps are same, but one is expansion and one is original. So Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Balaram is his first expansion. So he is the Supreme Personality of Servitor God. So he displays the mode of a servant of the Lord. So he acts in the capacity of the Supreme Servant of the Lord. Whenever Lord comes as Vishnu, so he appears as Anantasesh. So whenever Lord comes as Krishna, he comes as Balaram. So when Lord comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then Balaram comes as Nityananda Prabhu. When Lord comes as Sri Ramachandra, Balaram comes as Lakshmana. So the pastimes when we hear and understand, so Krishna expansion, he plays the act of the Lord, and Balaram in his various incarnations, he plays the role of a servant of the Lord. He's showing us how one can serve the Lord. That example to display that example, Lord. But he is not the servant. Actually, he is the Supreme Personality of Lord. So he's playing the role of a servant and showing us how one can serve the Lord. Okay. Did I answer your question? Okay, thank you. So any other question, comment? Or we'll close here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.
జై. ತುರ್ಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಎದ್ದಳಪ್ಪ ಮುಗೀತು. ಇಟ್ಟ ಹೋಗಿ